Hey guys, and welcome to a Rogue Assassin leveling spec. So I'm doing this video as a request from a viewer, so hopefully this is helpful. Now I made this spec myself, so there are probably better ones than this, and this spec may not even work, but it's worth a try because the idea of it is reasonable. Now I've tested this myself, so I've tested this spec and I'll show you it in action in a moment, but if this doesn't work for you guys, then make sure you leave a comment below describing why, and that would be great for me just so that I can think about whether just to take the video off if it's pretty much pointless if it doesn't work. So the spec is obviously maining assassin as it's an assassin leveling spec. But off souls we have our Rift Stalker and also Blade Dancer. Now the required level to use this is 36, so make sure you at least have that. If you're a higher level than 36, then basically as you level, just put points into Assassin, ensuring that you get 61 Assassin by level 60, and then all of the extra points that you receive I would probably put into either Rift Stalker tank abilities, so increasing armor or whatever, or Blade Dancer increasing your dexterity by more, and stuff like that. I would probably go for Blade Dancer though, just so you can deal a bit more damage. So I'll now go through the abilities, macros, and a short explanation of the rotation. Right, so we have a macro on the first ability spot, which I'll go through in a second, whilst after I've gone through all the other abilities. Puncture next, which will deal a small amount of damage, and then we'll apply a bleed. We have two finishes, Final Blow, which deals a lot of damage, and will deal more damage if you attack from behind the target, and then Impale, which will again put another bleed on the enemy, which will last for 20 seconds. We then have Foul Play, which will stun them for 4 seconds, and Blinding Power, which will confuse for 10 seconds or until damaged. So these are like your two control abilities basically. We also have Poison Malice, which will increase poison buff damage done by 100%, and then when hit you'll deal a small amount of damage back. Enduring Brew, which is just it's actually quite a big heal. Shadow Shift, which will teleport you 15 meters forward, and Sidesteps, which will increase your dodge by 50% for 15 seconds. So that's quite useful. We also have three buffs that we're going to use. Planebound Resilience, which will increase your endurance. Leeching Poison, which will grant a 20% chance to deal extra damage and will restore a bit of health to you. This is sort of like one of the main abilities in the spec because of the healing, just so you can keep alive. And then Lethal Poison, which will just basically deal extra damage and will increase chance for the enemy to be critically hit by 5% for 15 seconds. Okay, so the macro, if I can just find it. There it is. I've just named it DPS. Okay, so we have Backstab. I'll show you what these abilities do. Backstab. Okay, Backstab. It has to be used from behind and will deal a lot of damage. Has a 6-second cooldown. Quite good. Expose Weakness, which is here. Increases physical damage taken from the rogue by up to 54 for 20 seconds, and that doesn't break stealth, so it's quite useful. And then Savage Strike, which is just our instant cast ability with no cooldown. Here we go, which will deal a bit of damage and will also deal more damage if you attack from behind. So there's a spec, basically you're going to be spamming that. Okay, so time to see the spec in action. I'll do a short explanation of the rotation now and then I'll show you it. So basically what you want to do is go up to the enemy in stealth, and I've just realised I've forgotten some abilities, so I'll go through that now. So our stealth abilities, we have Paralysing Strike, which will stun for 4 seconds, a Bleed over time, Incapacitate for 45 seconds, reduces the chance of being detected, and then I've been through them. Okay, so there's the 4 extra abilities that I forgot to go through, but there we go, they're done. Okay, so basically you go into stealth mode, and then you want to use these 3. As you get close to it, you want to activate elusiveness, and then if you really want to, you can use incapacitate on the enemy. Okay, so he basically can't do anything for 45 seconds now, until you attack him. So you either want to use paralyzing strike for the stun, or jagged strike if you want to deal damage over time. I would prefer to go with paralyzing strike, just so that I can get behind my target, deal more damage, and also they can't hit me. So I'm going to open up with paralyzing strike, spam, make sure you get a puncture in, then spam your number 1 a couple times, then impale. I'm going to end up dying probably. Keep spamming your number 1 macro, and then we can move on to this one, and then final blow, and then just keep spamming, and make sure that you look at the debuffs on the enemy so that you can see, or make sure that you always have your bleed over times on. Okay, so that was a really bad example of DPS, but that was a rotation, so I'll show you it again in fast mode. Let's see what DPS we can get. Should be pretty high, really. Okay, let's have a look. Just realised I used the wrong ability then, but still DPS is pretty decent, seeing as I'm level 43, these are level 46. Okay, so not bad DPS. My health pretty much didn't go down in that fight, and remember that I also have that heal. There you go, I'm back to full HP. So it's pretty useful. This leeching poison is probably the main thing, just so you can keep your health up during fights. And that's about it. So thanks for watching. Remember to leave a comment on whether this spec is actually useful or not. Also please like and subscribe if you wish, and any extra comments that you may have, please comment below. Peace out.